Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT News. Loads of changes going down over the past 24 hours, chiefly amongst the Disguised Toast Game Changers roster, with lots of funny things to talk about on that side of things. But also the question as to whether Yay could step into that team as well. Given the amount of options there are left on the table for Yay, Disguised starting team in the Challenger side may well be his best chance of returning, especially with the financial difficulties that Disguised Toast is discussing here. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Plenty to discuss. Firstly from SK Rossi here. Some issues I believe potentially with the visa situation that SK Rossi is experiencing for global esports with India and stuff, as he says. Never been this useless. No tournaments, no practice. I'm wasting time. Frustrated, can't do anything about it. So hopefully everything works out for him in the near future. Speaking of visas though, Alpha is finally reunited with the Fnatic guys. So they're going to get him back up to speed. So good stuff, of course. Alpha, he had visa issues from Turkey not long ago. He's now there in Berlin, ready to play with the team this upcoming week. Of course, they've started off pretty hot to that European region, it's got to be said. And as Mini says here from Fnatic, Kamek got his chance with the team, perfect sub, and now time to get Alpha back into shape. So good stuff from Fnatic. They got that all resolved, and good to see. Now, speaking of a couple of other roster changes in the Tier 2 side, rumours emerging around the OR esports team. We saw Lear is gone, potentially Pure VNS is gone as well, with Pancakes and Physic practicing with the team just yesterday. So that's an interesting one to keep your eyes on. There's also this from PaperX, who were practicing with something in their team instead of Benkai. Now, of course, bit of a question here as to whether this is just one specific map mode combination that they're potentially trialing out an alternative. But PaperX, certainly at the lock-in events, weren't super impressive. And so far in the Pacific region, DRX and T1 and GenG are leading it up with Team Secret as well. PaperX are 1-1. They took down Detonation, I believe, and they lost to Team Secret. So yeah, PaperX are doing okay, but they haven't been spectacular by any means. As I say, only 3 of these teams make it through to Masters, and they will certainly want to be there, as will Zeta Division, of course, being the Japanese team along with Detonation Gaming. So big, big set a few weeks for a lot of these teams. But PaperX were, they were so good at the end of last year, but they turn up to the lock-in event. They got smoked by Cloud9 off the face of the earth, a Cloud9 team that I don't think was particularly good, and this new version arguably is a bit worse. We'll see over the coming weeks whether that continues to be true, but PaperX haven't been ideal so far, so you can understand why after signing this very hot prospect as something player, I believe a Russian player that's stepping into their lineup, is that potentially they might bring him into the starting team. So very interesting possibility, one to keep your eyes on for sure. Might be a specific map thing, they might become a 6-man unit, and it might just be, trialing him out to see how it goes, but one possibility to have a look at nonetheless. There's also this from 100 Thieves with James IRL, who was recently working as a kind of analyst for the additional analyst for the 100 Thieves guys, and that's no longer the case anymore. So I believe this is, frankly, just a consequence of what's currently happening in esports. A lot of these teams are shedding everything they can really get away with. A lot of these esports teams struggling financially, and you can understand why, given the amount of money they pay these players for salaries, and therefore they're like, all right, do we really need this analyst? Do we really need this guy, that guy? And if they decide no, then those players and those individuals get removed from the team. So unfortunate for James, but hopefully he can find a new spot soon in either Valorant or CSGO, and lots of, vouchers, let's just say, in the replies. Also wanted to mention this drama from a Governor and the Turtle Troop guys. So, we know that XQC was going to buy this team, was going to sign them up, do the watch parties, all that stuff, and knowing XQC, things obviously didn't quite go to plan. So, even as a Governor says here, they led us on for a month straight, or he led us on for a month straight, and there were some discussions as to exactly why. I believe XQC wanted the team to make a change and to make a couple of alterations to their roster. Turns out they didn't want to do that or whatever, and the XQC thought, I'm not so sure. I don't think it was necessarily about the fact that they didn't qualify. It was more so that, he wanted them to potentially look to level up, and they decided not to make a change. So he kind of eventually, XQC got a little bit kind of fed up of the whole situation, didn't really tell them anything for quite some time, and he admitted XQC on stream after that, that was a mistake. He should have been way more transparent and communicative with these guys, but as it turns out, nothing's really going to come of it. So not exactly surprised that this turned out with the XQC situation, but unfortunate, of course, for Turtle Troop, who were on the verge of getting signed to a team, but as it's turned out with Disguised and others and Moist Moguls and stuff getting involved, XQC hasn't really been able to nail it yet. Maybe down the line that can still happen. Let's talk of Disguised then with the Game Changers roster. So they played at Series 1 North America to try and qualify. I think it was inevitable that these girls weren't actually going to make it that far in the tournament. they did quite well. I mean, this series was, I think, winnable. They lost 0-2 in the end. There was a chance here they could have won this one, but in the end, it wasn't to be. Fracture was 13-11 for Shift X and then 13-8 the second map. So few interesting mistakes away from them winning this series. But, this was just a short-term project here from Disguised Toast to bring some eyes to Game Changers. I believe it topped out at about 100,000 viewers, this Game Changers tournament, which is vastly more successful in terms of numbers than Game Changers have been so far. So really putting Game Changers in the spotlight by signing these team of, kind of content creators, right? But I think it's been successful in the endeavor that was being attempted. Now, of course, after this, there's nothing to really be played anymore. So this team is not going to remain as part of Disguise because, it was just a streamer, content creator team that was there for a bit of fun to try and bring some eyeballs to the scene, which I believe it's been successful in achieving. But fundamentally, there's not much else to do now. So even as Quarter J said, even though we're out to win in my book, so Game Changers too. So coming up in the near term, there'll be the second round of Game Changers to which Disguise might bring another team in. But for now, he is letting go of this roster. Now, I thought this was pretty hilarious the way that he did this, actually. He pretty much poked fun at every single organization that's made a change in recent memory, even the likes of Mad Lions, certainly Cloud9, right, by talking about role issues and financial hardships. We're letting Quarter Jade go, and goes on to say the same thing with Sidion and Kaide and truly TenZ and Coach Ruin and all this type of stuff. So, just coming to paste the same tweet I thought was pretty funny, but does the same thing with every single tweet. I just wanted to share the video of him doing this because I thought it was great that he's basically just poking fun at absolutely everyone, and obviously he's joking around, guys, before you take it too serious.
How do people do it? What does Mad Lions do? Effective today, we have parted ways with Zexro. We wish nothing but the best in his career moving forward. Effective today, we have parted ways with at Quarter Jade. We thank her for her time with DSG and wish nothing but the best for her career. Send it! Look, this is the esports scene, baby. You fail to qual, you get fired. You lose a lock-in tournament, you get fired. I don't make the rules. I learned this from watching other orgs. You don't make MSI, that contract I was gonna offer you, I'm pulling it. I'm ghosting you guys. Welcome to the real world, chat. You guys get 13-0'd, you get fired. I don't make the rules. I'm pretty sure Quarter Jade signed an NDA with DSG saying she wouldn't talk negatively about the org. I believe I have grounds to sue her now. And then when I sue her, I'll make money. Money that I would then use to sign other players. She actually is going to pay me for being on the team at this point.
But regardless of him joking around, the team is still gone. I'm sure they knew that this was coming and it was only a short-term thing anyway. But it did make things rather interesting now, especially because of this tweet that came out from Tubbleware, who said, another Game Changers team cut so the org could pay for Yay. GG's anyway, look for team, I guess. So, obviously she's, just having a bit of fun with this. And as Disguised Toast says, leaking our next roster move, better lawyer up quickly, buddy. So I thought that was pretty good stuff. But also, pay for Yay. So what's going on with Yay, right? We saw the other day that Disguised announced Yay to the organization. Okay, welcome Yay, and obviously a bit of a joke there, given it was April Fool's between Yay and Disguise, so we thought probably not too much of it. But fundamentally, as I said at the time, Yay doesn't really have any other options than a team like Disguised, because he can't get back into the Pro League. The rules don't work to allow that effectively. The salary requirements that he might have up there might be challenging anyway, but also those teams simply can't make a change. So then you look to Tier 2, and you think, does Yay actually want to play in Tier 2 and compete and keep his keep his hand in, I suppose, as opposed to just taking an entirely year off? He probably would still want to play, I would think. I don't know, maybe Yay doesn't want to play and he wants to do a Marved and take some time out, but it hasn't been long that Marved's been on the bench, where Marved's nothing and get me back in a team. He's joined Sentinels on their bench, and probably he's going to be in that starting team, I think, at some point in the future, Marved. And if there is a team in Tier 2 that's potentially looking to make changes and upgrade their roster, Yay is an option surely for Disguise. It's a weird circumstance. it probably won't happen, to be honest. But I know there's been some talk here from even Tarik, who says, look, these are the reasons why Yay isn't getting signed right now. But a team like Disguised, or Moist Moguls maybe, right, or one of these teams, like if he was happy to take a significant salary cut, which I imagine he may be willing to do, are actually the best options for Yay to try and get back to competing.
Why is no one picking up Yay? Do you know? Is this secret info?
I think it's just like the franchise teams aren't making roster changes because those teams are cemented. And then challenger teams, the good ones, M80 Guard, are probably not making roster changes. Also, you guys are not making roster changes. Disguised and Mogul, because you guys are, doing your thing. Well, Disguised maybe is making a roster change, but Mogul's in good shoes. So I don't know. There's just not many top options for him. But I mean, hopefully he just settles on something, because I feel like the more he sits on the bench is the worse for him, right?
He's also probably expensive, right?
Well, he's not. He has no buyout. It's just terminated by Cloud9.
Sure. I guess so. It's just based off what he was paid, maybe.
Like, yeah. I mean, I doubt he's gonna try to get the same salary he had on C9, because it's probably like super high.
It's probably juicy.
Yeah.
What's the most you were ever paid by an esports team?
30K
a month?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this in the comment section below. Just wanted to look, of course, because the matches are starting in a couple of days again. The interesting schedule here. So far, the winners on the VLR page have gone left, right, left, right, left. So potentially it's going to continue as follows. And actually, if you look at the favourites, Loud, Leviathan, okay, Sentinels are probably underdogs versus NRG. But apart from that, all the teams, again, right, left, effectively, are also the favourites. So if Sentinels beat NRG, maybe this is a sign that Sen are going to beat NRG and send NRG to the 0-2 start to the tournament, and that'd be a big scalp for them to take. And they could do it, right? I know that the Platjack guys came up with their power rankings here. For the current Americas, Crew haven't been doing particularly well. There are rumours circulating that they've been getting fried in practice lately, e.g. then Cloud9 marginally above them, MIBR, 100 Thieves, Furious, Sentinels, and then the top three, in their opinion, Leviathan, Loud, and NRG. So, I think Loud is certainly here. I think Leviathan is certainly in the top three as well. And I would probably still put NRG there as the best team from North America. So I don't mind. I think the top four here, top five, is probably pretty good. But things could change quickly. But yeah, Leviathan looked very strong the other day against NRG. It's still a team that I think could well be top three. They should well be top three, but time will only tell for that roster. Just to mention from Vanity, former Cloud9, of course, because CS is starting up, the RMRs for the Major and all this stuff is currently ongoing. And there's so much that happens in Counter-Strike. I don't really follow CS competitively as much as I used to, but partly because there's just way too much happening. Like, I can barely keep up with what's happening in CS. There's so many tournaments all the time. Now, of course, that's run by, a lot of the time, third-party organizers. Valorant is run by Riot, but I will say, and I think Vanity agrees, like, with my perception for some time, that in CS, there's pretty much too much stuff going on. But in Valorant, like, there's barely anything that even happens. Okay, there's matches every week or so, and they're interesting enough. But frankly, for a lot of the players, there simply isn't that many tournaments to even play, especially for a guy like Vanity that's now, okay, he's joined the team, the ESR guys in the Challengers World, but I mean, still, they're not even playing that much either, so there just isn't as many matches, I think, being played per season, per team in Valorant than there should be, but it's only the first year of franchising, so I'm sure they can figure it out over time. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.